Welcome, guys, from Bitcoin Bali House. Amazing work you're doing. Today, I would like to tell you a little bit more about Roatan, about what we are doing in this pirate island. So, if you're interested in learning what is happening in Prospera, in this private jurisdiction, Bitcoin jurisdiction, join us here. Grab your headphones, set up channel 1, come here and listen to what we are doing there. So, just a second to make sure our podcasters are okay. Hey, is it fine with the audio? Yes, it is. Okay. So, guys, one day I got a message. I got a message from my friend Robert, and he was telling me like, "Hey, dude, he was sending me these pictures, him with his family in a beautiful paradise, and he was telling me, man, you need to come here. You need to come here." And he said, "It's Roatan." I'm like, "Okay, what is Roatan?" I had no idea where it is. Is it Africa? Is it Asia? Is it somewhere else? He said, "No, it's Caribbean." I'm like, "Perfect, Caribbean? Love to go there." But then he told me, "Well, but it's in Honduras. And maybe you know it, maybe not, but Honduras is the most dangerous country in the world." I'm like, "Robert, are you safe there? Is everything fine?" He's like, yeah, perfect. It's a paradise. You need to come." And what he also told me is that on Roatan, there is a village made by Czech guys. So people from Czech Republic settled in Roatan, in Honduras, in Caribbean, and set up their own village, which is pretty insane. So I was, okay, we need to figure it out. But I was like, should I go? Shouldn't I? Because it's kind of dangerous, but like, fuck it, let's go and check Roatan out. So for those of you who don't know, Roatan belongs to Honduras. It's in the Caribbean Sea, west part of Caribbean, and it looks like a banana. So it's very sleek, thin island, piece of land, but it's it's the second largest coral reef in the world. So if you love diving, anybody dives here? Okay, 1, 2, 3, okay, couple of you. If you didn't try it yet, that's the place where you need to try it out. Second largest coral reef in the whole world. So we came there, and this was the Czech village. So this is the connection to Czech Republic. That's why we are here as well. You know, Czech Republic to Honduras. What was the reason for Czechs setting up in Roatan? Well, if you're here for a couple of days and you try the Czech beer, it has a connection to a beer. Because there was one crazy guy, crazy enough, who decided to set up a brewery in Roatan. The Honduran government said like, "Hey, we want a very good Czech beer in Honduras. Is there anybody crazy enough to set it up?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, I will do that." So this was the first Czech brewery on Roatan Island. And it was running for a couple of years, delivering beer across Central America. But after some years, competition came, they needed to close down. But the Czechs were like, "Okay, we're already here, what are we gonna do?" And they said, "Hey, Roatan is a famous pirate island, but there are not pirate ships around. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna build a freaking pirate ship." So this is what they did. The crazy Czech guy flew to London. He went to a museum and got drawings from original Black Pearl, the one that was really roaming the Caribbean seas. And they built a replica of a Black Pearl pirate ship. They were roaming across the Caribbean Sea. This was the largest pirate ship at that time, a few years ago, in the whole Caribbean. It was sunk down after a couple of years. There were some disputes, somebody took over, so a real pirate story. And again, they said like, "Okay, what are we gonna do here?" They started building. They built a whole Czech village, 60 houses on Roatan in Honduras. Roatan has a very strong pirate history. That's why, since we have Bitcoin Academy there, that's why we decided to bring this crazy pirate ship, because the most famous pirates of Caribbean were living on Roatan, especially this one. This is called a Fort Morgan Key. This island in 17th and 18th century belonged to Henry Morgan. That's the guy on the bottle of rum, of Captain Morgan rum. So he was a real dude, right? And he was living on this island. And till today, there is still a wall built by Henry Morgan that was storage of a gunpowder. So you can still go there, you can find it. It's a private island with an airstrip so you can land your plane. And the most crazy part, if you already read our text around here, the most crazy part that this island is for sale for Bitcoin. Not one, otherwise I would buy that, but for 150 Bitcoins. So if you have in your pocket 150 Bitcoins, you can buy this island that belonged to real Henry Morgan. And this was actually, this is the wall that's still there, the gunpowder storage, so you can go and check it out. And they were in the peak, there were 500 pirates living on this island. So pretty crazy stuff. You can find around the island old pirate bottles. You can find old cannonballs. So if you do a good diving around there, you can really find old pirate stuff, which is super, super crazy. So I was like, I need to see that. So we flew in 2022, and for 2 weeks we were just roaming the island, and I fell in love with it. I'm sailing for 20 years. I was grown up as a sailor, so just being around water like that was something like a magic for me. And that's me with my girlfriend Diana. Gabriel, my co-founder, with his family. So Gabriel took his 3 months old, that's the guy, that's him. He was brave enough, or maybe crazy enough, to bring his family with a 3-month-old kid all the way to Roatan from Slovakia through the whole world. Crazy stuff. So they did it. And yeah, Roatan has a very good history of not trusting the governments. As you can see, there are a couple of politicians hanging around here as a reminder that we shouldn't trust them. So Roatan is very interesting, you know, the pirate history as well. And people coming to Roatan from US, Canada, they are the people who really distrust the government, and they are the people who really search for higher levels of freedom. So yeah, it's a very good place to be. 2 years ago, I was just scrolling through Twitter and something popped up. It was called Build Prospera Summit. And I checked it out. It looks too good to be true. You know, this futuristic city, private jurisdiction, crypto-friendly. And you know, we maybe saw a couple of these Satoshi's islands, and you don't trust them very much because they're all shit and scam. So I was very skeptical as well, but I was like, okay, I'm around. Let me go and check it out. It was also on April 1st, so I didn't trust it as much as well. But I was like, okay, let's check it out. And they were about 60 people, some of them like Bitcoin OGs. There was a guy who set up the first world online talk show that talked about Bitcoin in 2010. He was interviewing Roger Ver, Gavin Andreessen, so really like the OG guys. I was like, okay, these people are pretty cool ones to be around. So being in Prospera, I was really expecting, you know, 5 people on the beach having fun under the tent, but I came there and there were these types of buildings already built out. This is called a beta building. It's a co-working center. It's a beautiful place, nice connection with nature and woods. I was blown away, guys. And then we could present the ideas we'd like to develop in Prospera. I was like, okay, so I'm a Bitcoin educator. I'm doing it for 7 years. I used to be a teacher before. So what I would like to do, I would like to have an education academy. So I pitched the idea, and the guy in the front row was sitting there, and he told me, you know, I like the idea. Let me take you to a building. If you like it, you can build your academy immediately. You can even name your rent and just, you know, move to Roatan. I'm like, oh my God, that's pretty crazy and that's pretty intense. So I came to my girlfriend Diana and I told her about this idea, and she was like, what the heck? Like, you want us to live in Caribbean, like in Honduras? I'm like, yes. So in the end, she agreed, maybe voluntarily, maybe not. But in the end, we moved to Roatan, and 5 minutes. Okay, and right now we are staying there. Majority of the year, like 5-6 months a year, we stay in this beautiful location. This is the place we have, the Bitcoin Academy, in the top of the hill, and it's a beautiful place. So that was me deciding whether to do it or not. I said, let's do it. Let's make it. So why Roatan and Prospera? Prospera is the jurisdiction where we have our academy. Why? Because it's one of the most friendliest jurisdictions for Bitcoin companies in the world. You can run your company fully on Bitcoin. You can be on the real Bitcoin standard. I pay my taxes in Bitcoin. They are pretty low, but I pay them in Bitcoin. You can have the full accountancy of your company in Bitcoin. So you don't need to exchange to dollars, any fiat, right? So because otherwise you end up as this fiat hodler right here. So yeah, just keep it in Bitcoin, okay? Prospera build amazing stuff, circular economy, a circular factory which with robotic arms is building crazy things from wood. Already the first towers, residential towers are coming up. This is a Duna residence that will be finished this month. And there are events happening like that. We have like a dome where you can run conferences. Bitcoin is a legal tender there, right? So you can accept Bitcoin. You don't need to pay taxes on your transactions. The taxes are super small. So we pay 1% tax, sales tax, basically it's from all your revenue. That's one tax. 2.5 tax, 2.5% is for VAT, and 1% is the land tax. These are the only three taxes that are there. And you can pay them all in Bitcoin. And this is only paid from the income you generate inside of Prospera. So how do I pay taxes? You just go to a platform and you just type in how much you made in that quarter or in that year. And the platform asks you, okay, do you want to pay with Bitcoin or do you want to pay with card? I just click Bitcoin, I just scan the code, and the money's gone. So it's super easy, super low bureaucracy. As I said, unit of account, which means you're running your whole company on Bitcoin. You don't need to touch fiat and exchange it anytime if you want to. You can set up your e-residency and company in a couple of minutes. It costs you like 180 euros or dollars a year to run e-residency, about $300 a year for a company. So it's very like a low burden to set it up and run it. Prospera has their own arbitration center, so decentralized courts. You don't need to trust the government and the state for your disputes, but you can run it through arbitration centers. They even have a 3D land register, so you don't need to buy a two-dimensional space. You can buy a cubic meter of space. Why? If you have an ocean view, you don't want somebody to build in front of you. So you just buy the space in front of you in the ocean view, and that's yours. Nobody can build there. And right now we are in the process to putting this on Liquid, so people can trade it, these voxels, on Liquid. So there's pretty cool stuff happening in Prospera. This was the building, how it looked like when we get it. This is how it looks like right now. So we have a huge Bitcoin logo on the entrance. It's the first thing that you're coming to Prospera, you see a Bitcoin logo. And that's our team, the local team. You can meet Ariana here. Ariana, you will find her there. She's the head of the academy, and she's a descendant of a real pirate. So her granddad was a real freaking pirate, kind of a famous one. So if you want to talk real piracy, that's the girl. And she can tell you about the education that we are doing on Roatan. This is the Educator Academy we did there. Meetups, we are doing a lot of education. Mining meetups, we are training the kids, onboarding merchants. Paco was there with us as well. And we have right now 60 merchants accepting Bitcoin on Roatan, growing slowly as well. We set up a Bitcoin Merchant Association to help them with getting more customers. That's Paco. That's the crazy guy who was on Roatan. Yes. I hope you're coming, brother, again. We are doing education for kids, running Bitcoin diplomas. This is a graduation I did recently. We even have Satoshi's grave. So if you ever want to know where Satoshi died, or if he died, he did. He's buried in Roatan. And if you go 10 meters under the sea, you find a huge Bitcoin logo with his quote, a treasure chest with a couple of Bitcoin artifacts, and you can meet the Satoshi down there under the sea. Right now we are running a project called Miners for Kids. So you can reach out to Ariana on the other side of the boat, and you can support the kids in Roatan with crowdfunding for the electricity for the miners, and whatever the miner mines in that month goes to the kids and is divided based on their education experiences in the wiser end. So this is how we try to connect the mining that we're doing into the economy. This is us. We are a Bitcoin company that's sustaining ourselves from mining. We are mining in Paraguay. These are our containers. Right now we are expanding to Ethiopia as well. So if you ever want to know more about how you can join us on the mining journey, talk to the Andre and Marek on the other side of the boat. And yeah, so there is the word in English called Amity, which means cooperation, fellowship, and friendship. And we see Bitcoin as a tool that can bring us to the age of cooperation. If we're running on one Bitcoin standard, there's more cooperation. If governments cannot print money, there's more peace because they can finance wars. And this way, Bitcoin can bring us to the age of cooperation, to the age of amity. And that's how we named our company. So if you have any questions regarding Roatan, I hope now you get why we wrote the pirate ship, because of the pirate history of Roatan. Feel free to reach me out, or to Ariana, or anybody from our team. I'll be here the whole 3 days, and it's a pleasure to talk more about that. Thank you very much.